walking distance away, and an important conversation is about to have. Excellent to see it happening. That is JP Nadda, Union Minister, along with Dr. Jitendra Singh, also Union Minister, both of whom were with Sonam Wangchuk late last night. They've been to Parliament this morning and they are now arriving here at the Constitution Club. And on the right side of your screens, you've seen the CJP team who are going to be joining them very shortly, and they are going to be meeting. Now, as far as things stand, the CJP says that their protest continues. In fact, they have called for an escalation of the protest yesterday. They have not withdrawn that demand. They want people all over the country protesting even more. And in fact, they have indicated that the resignation of the Education Minister remains an unmovable agenda item. Now, there is always a larger picture. My 2 bits can only be that what we don't want is one-upmanship and brinkmanship and grandstanding and let egos get in the way into escalating a problem that we can potentially work together and solve, because eventually we have to work together and solve. This doesn't get settled on the streets tomorrow or day after or next week or next month. Eventually we have to come up with a plan of action, and the protesters, the students have to be stakeholders in that plan of action. It is on the government to build trust, to understand that further agitation has happened because of the police action, and to make an effort. They are making an effort, and it's now incumbent to start having more practical, pragmatic conversations. The worst thing that when you're agitated, and I understand you're agitated, you're frustrated, and you get into this zone where you think that because they are talking and because they are acting, so therefore they are on the back foot, and now we can double down and demand more things, and that's not the solution, because we lose the end goal. The end goal is to solve a larger educational problem in this country. Part of it is examination systems and leaks. It's a big part of it. We've been speaking to students for several days. I just spoke to one right now who had to give the exam twice. And obviously that causes additional stress. Who would want to give their board examinations twice due to no fault of your own? What a horrible thing to happen. But at the same time, we don't want brinkmanship. We get into this zone sometimes that if we think that the other person is not talking to us, we need to make our voices louder. And the reverse, if they are now talking to us, therefore we are winning something, so therefore we can make our voices louder. That would not be efficacious. What we want is, let's get together, come up with a plan and implement it. If replacing the NCRT brass, NTA brass, education secretaries, basically everyone, didn't solve the problem overnight, you have to ask yourself, is a single point agenda of the education minister going to solve the problem? Maybe, maybe not. If that was the case, then that would be a quick fix, no? He goes, somebody else comes over, problem solved. Unfortunately, that's not in real world. You and I know that's not what it is. So let's be hopeful that at least confidence building, intent, action now is heading in the right direction. That the quagmire of emotion and overreaction, underreaction that we have created due to a unhappy, horrible situation doesn't snowball further, but comes back to pragmatic action. My colleague Atul is standing by. Atul, so now let's see. They met on Monday. Subsequently, there were proposals of meetings sent by the government. It got stuck on the venue. They wanted to come to the office. They said, no, you come to Jantar Mantar. So now they've agreed neutral venue, which seems to be Constitution Club, which incidentally is where their first CJP press conference took place. So do we know who all, I mean, we know who from the government is attending. Do we know who from the CJP is attending?
Well, it is very likely to be Saurav Das and Ashutosh Banka once again, because in the last meeting as well, it was this duo which participated in the meeting there. Now, obviously, as you said, it is quite welcoming, given the fact that there's an attempt to break the deadlock that has been that has been the part of this whole conversation as well as the protest for several weeks now. Now, what we're expecting is that already Home Minister Amit Shah has already had a word with Jitendra Singh once again right before this meeting. So we are expecting that there has some message must have been conveyed from the government. What the ministers and those in the higher ups in the government have a say. What they do have to say about the resignation of a demand of resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. So certainly that must have been conveyed to the Jitendra Singh as well as JP Nadda. So it would be quite interesting to see what discussions do exactly happen and how do they transpire, because remember, right, since Wong Chuk has given up on his path, what we're seeing is that the CJP leadership has been reiterating from stage at the Jantar Mantar that their demand continues over resignation, and that the ball was in the government's court to end this protest. So certainly they appear quite adamant as of now when it comes to negotiations, because as you mentioned, it's all about discussions and compromises to find a perfect solution. Because the larger question is, will the resignation of education minister fix the larger question of paper leaks, as well as creating a system where exams are foolproof? That is a big question, certainly to be asked. Now, government has obviously made taken such some measures since last night. If you see announcing of fast track course, announcement about amending the previous paper leak law that was adopted in 2024 after the NEET paper leak. And now we are also seeing that the education secretary has also been changed. So what we are seeing is that the government is at least showing that it is in action mode. It is trying to portray that it is concerned about the demands of the students as
Yeah,
well as
but
the
if
larger
you're
problem that
cynical,
we
you'll
need.
say, well, if you were so concerned, what were you doing last week? If you are pragmatic, you would say action is happening. It's happening at unprecedented speed. Now that it is happening, I've never seen a fast track court delimited within 24 hours, a bill being drafted within 24 hours, being presented, and from inception to passing will be less than 5 days potentially. To see the entire educational hierarchy replaced and changed, barring one. I'm just hoping this doesn't come down to my way or the highway. It becomes an ego battle where the government says, listen, this is the line, we can do this much, this we can't, or we won't. And they say, no, it's either everything or nothing. Everything or nothing, my way or the highway, is where this doesn't get solved and it spirals. I don't know how to emphasize this warning. When you are a protest organizer, however well intentioned and decent and genuine you might be, do you think you can organize a national protest and vet every single person who is going to participate in that protest? It is impossible for you. All sorts of unsavory elements with other motivations, agendas will walk in. Not only walk in, they'll overtake the initial OG goal which you had and replace it with all sorts of things. It is, as a former youth protester long time ago, and that's not a CV I've stood on at all until today when memories have come back. It is impossible to vet every people who is coming to join you, and it snowballs and goes into directions that you cannot predict or control. A point has been made, it needed to be made, action is happening. Let us find sincerity and common purpose. Eventually we have to solve it as a team. It's not them or us, them versus us. It's just us. Arzu, my colleague, is I think there. Arzu, what's going on?
We are right now present at the Constitutional Club, where in just few minutes, JP Nadda, Jitendra Singh, from the government side, and from the CJP leaders are also going to arrive anytime soon now at the Constitutional Club, which is just a few kilometers away from Jantar Mantar. And what is expected is is that both are going to sit and talk about the demands that the CJP is putting forward. As far as the government is concerned, the government is also going to put forward what the government is going to do to bring accountability and also to strengthen the education system. As we heard Prime Minister also talking about the strict law that the bill will come up, which will include the strict actions against those held accountable for the paper leak, and also the Sonam Wangchuk's demand has also been heard. The written assurance has also been given to the Sonam Wangchuk. So definitely these all points will be put forward in the meeting to CJP. But the concern is that both need to understand and keep their ego aside, as you also earlier mentioned, and have to come on a common ground. Because what we have heard Abhijit Deepke just a few hours back, he held a press conference and he clearly said that we appreciate, we respect Sonam Wangchuk ending his hunger strike of 26 days, but we will not be going to compromise anything less than the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. So it should not become political, and everybody wants that something big happen. It should come up to protect the education system, to protect the paper leak. So this meeting is very crucial. This is the second round of meeting that is going to start.
Okay, so they're going to have to make a judgment call now. What do we know, Arzu? Meanwhile, and Siddharth, can we get Sanjay in, please? So I can just touch base on what's happening with the cabinet meeting, because the cabinet meeting was also scheduled at 1 o'clock. I don't know if it's going to happen simultaneously. It almost seems it's going to happen simultaneously. The cabinet meeting, this meeting is about to start. It's near 1 o'clock. The cabinet meeting happens at 1 o'clock. So Arzu, have they arrived? Have Team CJP arrived?
Rishabh, they will arrive anytime soon from now. Not yet, not from CJP leaders, not from the government side. Nobody has arrived till now. The time scheduled was 12:30, but as of now it's been 12:51, and nobody has come from both the sides. As of now, we are waiting at the Constitutional Club to the meeting to get started. They come and they have the talk regarding the demands that have been put forward by the CJP.
Okay, Arju, just stay with me a second. You're watching a live shot of the entrance of the Constitution Club. As you can see, a lot of people have gathered there, many from the media, waiting for them to enter. I think JP Nadda and Jitendra Singh have already arrived, have they? Arju?
No, nobody from the government
side. Okay, I can confirm that they have left from Parliament. That we've seen them leave. So momentarily both should be arriving. Let me touch base with Sanjay once. Sanjay, what's happening with the cabinet meeting? Is it still on for 1 o'clock?
देखिए 1 बजे बैठक शुरू होगी और उसका बिल आएंगे